Welcome in, this is CitrusTV Now. I'm Dillon Brendle. Here are today's top stories. Students in South Campus's Slocum neighborhood lost power this afternoon. The university notified students around 1:30 of the outage. Power came back on just over an hour later. There was an outage in the off-campus neighborhood on Monday as well. Bagel lovers, listen up. Schoolyard Bagels is now accepting Q's Cash. Students can swipe their ID cards at the Marshall Street shop to pay. Schoolyard announced the change on Instagram. Yesterday, they announced 10% discounts for military and first responders. Buffalo Bills fans look away. The Bills have traded star wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Diggs, a four-time Pro Bowler, has been sent to the Houston Texans along with late draft selections in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick. New Texans teammate Joe Mixon implied on Twitter Diggs requested the move. Buffalo holds pick 28 in the NFL draft later this month. Many NFL mock drafts now expect the team to select his replacement at 28 or maybe even with a trade up in the draft to get a top receiver. It's lights, camera, action for a theater in Wayne County. The Rose City Drive-In will now open Friday for the first time in 4 decades. The first movie shown will be Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Fittingly, the final movie shown before the closing in 1985 was the original Ghostbusters. The owner says he spent $750,000 updating the drive-in. New York is contemplating a decision that could loosen regulations on midwives. The move would allow more people to get reproductive care inside homes or at birthing centers. Right now, almost all midwives work in hospital settings in New York. The change would be in line with 36 other states and with what New York did during COVID. Advocates want more people to have access to midwives, including groups with higher rates of death among infants and mothers. In Onondaga County, black babies are nearly 5 times more likely to die than white babies. Coming up, talks of an airport named after former President Trump. Find out more when we return.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to CitrusTV Now. President Biden and former President Donald Trump both took New York's primary election in a landslide yesterday. Trump received around 82% of the vote, while Biden grabbed around 91%. Biden and Trump winning their party's nominations would create a rematch of the 2020 election in November. Dulles International Airport outside D.C. could be in for a new name change. Republicans in the House proposed changing the airport's name to Donald J. Trump International Airport, but Democrats are shutting the proposal down. Representative Gary Connolly of Virginia saying, Donald Trump is facing 91 felony charges. If Republicans want to name something after him, I'd suggest they find a prison. Dulles Airport is named after former Secretary of State John Dulles, an Auburn, New York native. Back here in central New York, the skies aren't exactly clear for takeoff. My question for Spencer Congel is this terrible weather going to let up anytime soon, Spencer?
Well, Dylan, it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. Right now, 42 degrees outside. The rain's died off for a little bit, but it is going to come back. Feels like 34 degrees. Pretty windy out there. Now, as we move into tonight, that's where things are going to get a bit worse. It's going to get colder. The rain is going to continue out through the evening. And at about 3 a.m., it's going to turn into snow. And snow throughout tomorrow up until around 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not great. You don't want to see that snow, especially in April. Now, as we look into the next few days, there's Thursday where we're going to see that snow. It's not going to be too cold, but still pretty chilly, and the snow's not going to help. Some rain on Friday, possibly, and then Saturday, cloudy, 44 degrees. Now, I've got some good news as we move into next week. Later next week, Wednesday, Thursday, we're seeing some high 60s temperatures with some sun coming out. So I would certainly be looking forward to that. That's all I've got in weather for now. Peter, what's coming up in News Live at 6?
Well, Spencer, coming up on News Live at 6, another challenger has entered the race for a New York congressional district. Find out who it is on News Live at 6.
Eager to see that story, Peter. Thank you. That's all the time we have for you today on CitrusTV Now. For more of the latest, follow us at CitrusTV News on X and Instagram. I'm Dillon Brendle. The news continues in an hour with Peyton Spelcy and Zach Richter. We'll see you there, Syracuse.